Hey, welcome to How to Build Your Own Home. I'm talking about soils, geology, test pits, perk tests, all that. And you know, I'm a very, very stickler kind of guy when it comes to making sure that I know the geology below what I'm building on. And if you don't do that, you can run into some problems. So we're going to actually walk you through some of the test pits, what we found and what it's causing us to kind of reconsider and how we may end up be shifting the entire home. So let's start right here. This here is a pit that we dug. We didn't bury it because this was going to be used for a perk test. And a perk test is used to determine the flow rate, the saturation rate of water in soil for a septic system. We are just outside of what's called Santa Clara, Utah. Ivins is just to the north of us, two small towns. And we are in the county jurisdiction, even though the city is just maybe about a quarter mile that way. So the county requires a geology test, structural perk test, septic hole design. So you look down here and we actually found where they actually did the test. They did one at probably about 2 feet below the actual grade, and they did another one down there about another 2 feet below all that. Now, when the geologist was here, I was able to talk with him, and I told him I don't necessarily want too shallow of a system, especially out here in a pasture land. You never know what's going to run over it. I wanted more of a deep well system, and the sand is not that hard to dig in. If this was really bouldery and big rocks, like we're going to see up there, it'd be a different story. So you can see the strata in here, and this is something you want to actually see when they do test pits. And I'm going to show you some test pits up there where you don't see any strata. You don't see any layering. And typically when you dig in soil or any kind of a geology, you're going to see layers that were dropped down, drop down, drop down. And you see that here. Up here, we don't. I'm going to explain why and how that is kind of a problem. Also, we have native vegetation down here. We're going to probably end up moving the house this way, and I'll explain why. But when you come on a site, look at, has it been disturbed? Has it been sitting there for a long time? Down here, I have native vegetation. Up top here, just a few feet up, I don't have any native vegetation, and I'll show you why. Okay, we did several test pits up here, and these are structural test pits for the actual structure of the building. The engineer really needs that geology and that report in order to build his foundation, design his home accordingly. This is especially so for a lot of seismic issues. Or in our case, we have a lot of collapsible soils, expandable soils, that kind of thing. Luckily, this area here that we're at, we didn't find any expandable soil. It's really notorious in this area, and you can see it across the road there. It's kind of an orange layer, and there is some expandable soils over that way, but we didn't find anything here. But this was the first test pit that we did. And you notice it's got some river rock in it, which is basically rock that was probably in a river at one time, and it's just smoothed over. We found a whole just pit of this. We went down about 5 feet, and the engineer said we're good. That's probably native to the area. But what's interesting is about 25 feet that way, we did a test pit, and all we found was, for the most part, concrete and backfill that somebody had come in here, probably some family members, during a flood back in probably early 2000s, even 1983. There were the floods, and they didn't want to haul it off to the landfill. That's very costly, so they use it as backfill. And so we found a ton of concrete over there. And that's not necessarily good because you could have gaps and voids underneath that, and over time that can actually cause a problem. So we did another test pit about 15 feet south of that, right here behind the camera person. And as we were digging, we finally said, okay, the concrete stopped. We're down about 5 feet. We're okay. But in talking with the geotech engineer, he was really, really unsettled about the difference between a native river rock here and nothing but concrete and soil over there. So what did we do? We moved east. So let's go that way. Okay, so since we ran into those kind of hiccups, we started to move east this way. And whenever you do a structural test pit of a home, Typically, in native soils, they like to get down around 10 feet, 12 feet, if you can. We went down 14 feet over here, and it was 4 feet below the grade over there. And this test pit really showed some strata. We got into some native soils. We were really clear about what we were running into. We didn't run into concrete. We didn't run into some gravel or boulders until we got down to about the 13-foot mark. Then we started to run into that. And he says, okay, good. That's my hard pan. And typically, a geotech engineer is looking for what you call a hard pan, either a really hard layer or rock or a substrate that's really it's got a good stabilizing force to it. Now keep in mind that right here is a stake for the home, and I've got some blue paint right through here. A good rule of thumb is you don't want to do a test pit inside the footprint of the home. Now, why is that? Well, you could do a test pit that could go down 10, 12, 14, 16 feet with a big backhoe, and that whole area is particularly weak now. You've got to recompact 1 foot after 1 foot after another. But if it's outside the footprint, it's not a problem. When you do put your test pits outside, you're not necessarily weakening the structure underneath where the house is going to go. And I've seen a lot of people do some test pits, and they'll do them inside the footprint of the home, and they'll go down 10 feet, and they'll just gingerly backfill. If you were to do a compaction test over here and over there where we just dug, they wouldn't pass compaction, not even close. We didn't layer it right. So try to do your test pits outside the footprint because you don't have to worry about that being non-structurally compacted, but you do have to worry about it under your footprint. So since we did come over here and went down 14 feet and saw some good strata, some good profile, and eventually hit some hard pan, we originally were going to move the home keep it that way, but since we ran into concrete, which was from probably a flood and used as some backfill, and a real hard marbly river rock over there, we actually ended up moving the house this way. So let's go further east. Okay, now we moved out further east on this parcel, and the geotech engineer was happy about that. You notice we're in native soil territory. There's no real drive. There's no bare ground. Got sagebrush and grass growing up here. So we did a test pit here, and we only needed to go down about 7 feet, and he was happy about that. We found some really nice compactable clay and sand. And the sand, which is what he liked. You can compact sand. It's not easy, but I've done it before. I've got a 98% compaction on straight up sand. And I did that with a lot of water, a ton of water. But so we ended up moving it back this way, and he was really happy about that. And if you look at the land here, all the way east with all the cottonwoods right there, that's really undisturbed native soils. So you're safer on kind of knowing what's underground. But when you see bare soil, like you did up here, you don't know what's underneath there. And so we did all those test pits and found some not so good stuff. So again, my point is do your geology on your parcels, especially if you just don't know what's underneath there. The first job I ever did when we started to do the footings, we dug a foot down and we had to go down to another 6 inches. We found nothing but grass clippings, 3.5 feet of grass clippings. They use the parcel as a dumping ground. And you'll find that some rural areas like this, even family will just use their own parcel just to bury stuff. And I can understand that, given that you have, 8 and 9 acres and just going to put it somewhere and you think you're building something up, but you're not really building a proper pad for building on. So we learned a lot, got a lot analyzed and a lot figured out. The Perk test over there for the septic, it's still in a great place. It's going to be north of the home site. We have native soils, a consistency of what's underneath down below. And the geotech engineer, he was great at letting us move this. I don't know how far. We were talking anywhere from 60 to 180 feet. Once we get that solidified, I'll work with the geotech engineer and make sure we're okay with that. But again, we should be consistent all the way through here with this. Again, caution, always check on your geology. Make sure you get it done. The worst thing you can do is have concrete over here, maybe some sand over there, and you put a slab on that. That's not gonna be a consistent supporting mechanism for your home, and you're eventually gonna have a crack. You're gonna have a problem in your foundation. The more you can have that consistent underneath the entire slab of the home or even the stem wall of the home, that's gonna be a stabilizing force for the entire home. So it's just word to the wise. This is how to build your own home, talking about geology again.